Hello and welcome to Motown Centimeter. I'm Parikshit Luthra. India's top automotive companies, leading component manufacturers and dealers held brainstorming sessions with top government ministers and bureaucrats this week. The focus was on rising costs, pandemic impact on demand, semiconductor and supply chain issues, and electric vehicle adoption. Here are the top highlights. Auto dealers told OEMs that their relationship needs to be based on trust and respect. Dealers also told the government that needs to be a cushion to protect them from sudden exits by multinational manufacturers from the country. Industry veterans R.C. Bhargava and Venu Srinivasan reminded the government that the auto sector's role in India's growth had not been recognized. They said that high taxes and regulatory costs had affected vehicle affordability. Revenue Secretary Tarun Bajaj ruled out any rate cut but asked for more data on reasons for decline in growth. The ever-growing EV bandwagon, that was another theme at the conclave. Concerns were raised on lack of adequate charging infrastructure in India. Petroleum Secretary Tarun Kapoor said that EV chargers would be set up in 50,000 out of 75,000 fuel stations in the next few years. Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant told the auto industry that if established players don't take a lead in EVs, startups would leave them behind. Let's not waste any time and go across to our guests. We're joined by industry stalwarts. Vipin Sondhi, the Vice President of industry body SIAM and the MD of Ashok Leyland. Sanjay Kapoor, the incoming President of the Automotive Component Manufacturers Association and the Chairman of Sona Comstar. Also with us, Vinkesh Gulati, the President of Federation of Automobile Dealers. Mr. Sondhi, if I can begin with you. There was a lot of concern among the industry over the structural slowdown that the auto sector has been going through. And industry veterans like R.C. Bhargava, Venu Srinivasan, they highlighted the increasing pressure on cost due to taxes, due to regulatory measures as well. Going forward, what would be your key recommendations on the behalf of SIAM to the government in order to revive the auto industry?
Thank you, Parikshit, and hello to the viewers. So first, let me highlight what the challenges are which the industry has been facing. One, of course, is the pandemic itself. The second, you've mentioned it, the global shortage of semiconductors, rising commodity prices, the upcoming fuel efficiency and BS6 Phase 2 regulations, the shortage of shipping containers, and restrictions of exports. And of course, when we look at this, all of them virtually coming together. Really, industry and government have to work together. And industry has a role to play, and we seek support from the government as well. First, the industry itself needs to move towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. As an industry, we're already looking at a 15 to 20% further localization in the next 2 to 5 years. And we've prepared a detailed roadmap on which we are in discussion with the government. How do we increase localization content? And how does the government create an enabling ecosystem to attract global investments from companies for setting up manufacturing bases in India so that they're part of India's automobile supply chain? We need to reconsider our entire supply chain and bring it closer home, closer to India. There's a need for a clear long-term regulatory roadmap as well, and SIAM has prepared an approach paper, and again we will be discussing this with the government. New powertrain technologies to meet requirements both from a societal standpoint and from the fact that we need to conserve foreign exchange. Government, as you know, has announced a fitness-based scrappage policy, which was announced by the Honorable Prime Minister a few days ago, which will be a very strong enabler for growth in this industry. The necessary infrastructure needs to come up fast for early implementation of this policy. And then the industry looks forward to the details of the production-linked incentive scheme, the PLI, and that would also provide a good impetus to the auto industry. So it is together, costs are going up, and we need to find solutions to enhance demand to mitigate the cost and build scale. Back to you, Parikshit.
All right. Mr. Kapoor, if I may ask you about semiconductor shortages. This is something that was also discussed over the last 2 to 3 days. It's affecting vehicle availability in the market. It's affecting production. It's affecting component manufacturers as well. What would be your visibility? Do you get a sense that this problem is going to continue maybe well into 2023?
Parikshit, that's a great question. And as we see it now, I don't think anyone can predict anything. However, as we see the problem, we definitely see a problem this year and probably most of next year. The fact remains that the automotive industry as a whole is only 7% of buying of the semiconductor industry. In fact, we're so far away from the in the supply chain that we actually buy from distributors and not even from manufacturers. And I think we have to look at putting up capacity, more capacity. During the lockdown, a lot of the capacity got diverted to other electronics, and this has definitely impacted the semiconductor supply chain. The fact that more semiconductors and more chips are going into vehicles now has also impacted the entire supply chain, and as far as this chip shortage is concerned. It's definitely a big problem,
Right.
and I see this problem probably going into other industries as well if this continues. I think it's time for us to look at more capacity being installed. Tata Group has announced something. I hope that they can go forward with that. I know that the government in the past has looked at semiconductor manufacturing and whether it's digital or analog, and we need to sit down and discuss those issues. However, this is a problem, and it will definitely impact the industry in terms of supply from the supply side. However, we're a resilient industry, and I know we'll find a solution.